What is up, guys? My name is Pindah, or better known as the Mighty Golem, and today, guys, I am bringing you a very special video on this deck that I just built on my second account, which is in Arena 4. And why am I posting this video on Arena 4 even though I'm Arena 6? Well, because I had a lot of trouble when I was in Arena 4, because usually hog decks used to destroy me and I was just doing really bad. And the cards this deck includes are really simple. They're really basic and they're super useful against hog decks, prince decks, spawner decks, and many other decks you might be seeing in Arena 4. I have not checked it out with P.E.K.K.A decks, since the P.E.K.K.A is a card which you can find in Arena 4. I have not checked it out with the P.E.K.K.A deck. It's really rare, at least in Arena 4, but I have not seen it against the P.E.K.K.A deck. The benefits of the deck. Okay, let's check out the cards. These are the cards. We have the Valkyrie, the Spear Goblins, the Bomber, the Arrows, the Cannon, the Minions, 3 Elixir Minions, the Hog, and the Fireball. So, I am going to teach you how to counter every single card up to Arena 4 and some in Arena 5 with the following cards. So, what can you counter with a Valkyrie? You can counter skeleton armies, wizards if they have a wizard from Arena 5, and many more cards. Okay, then goes the Spear Goblins. The Spear Goblins are really good to counter fast troops, such as the mini P.E.K.K.A that runs really fast and deals high damage to your tower. So just put your Spear Goblins in the middle of the arena, and the mini P.E.K.K.A, the Prince, or a fast, high damage troop is gonna fall for the trap with the Spear Goblins. They're gonna be able to take him out. Like the mini P.E.K.K.A, you can take the mini P.E.K.K.A out with the Spear Goblins, but not the Prince. You're gonna need to back up the Prince something like the Valkyrie or the Cannon. Do not use the Minion Horde, because then he's most likely gonna hit your tower, and don't use the Bomber either, because the Bomber has really low HP. And you're gonna need him to counter more cards. The Bomber to counter Barbarians and clumped up troops. That's basically it. The Arrows, use the Arrows for minions. The Cannon, always use the Cannon for a Hog or for the tank. Always use it for the tank, for example, the Hog, the Giant Skeleton, or the Giant. The 3 Elixir Minions to take Valkyries out, Bombers, and stuff and cards that cannot hit air. Then, the Hog. The Hog is pretty straightforward. You just drop him to deal damage. Drop him with something to back him up. For example, if you put the Valkyrie in front of the Hog is going to push the Valkyrie all the way to the tower, and the Valkyrie is going to tank for you, which is really good. And the best for the last, the Fireball. The Fireball is such a good card to take out a lot of cards, other cards. Like, for example, you can take out the Barbarians, you can take out a lot of Huts if they have a spawner deck, which I hate spawner decks, and this deck is amazing to counter spawner decks. So, I'm going to give you a warning. This deck won't magically make you better at the game. So don't leave comments like, "Oh my god, you made me lose 300 trophies," because I am sorry, that is not my fault. I'm trying to make you better at the game, and this deck will boost your chances of winning, but it will not magically make you better at the game. So that's basically it. Let's hop straight into the gameplay. Alright, we are in Arena 4 against Faramosh from Basra Empire. As you can see, he has a Goblin HUD. And he's just about to deploy it. He just deployed it, and we are ready, because we know this guy has a spawner deck. And I wanted to add this clip so bad because I want to teach you how to counter spawner decks. Now that in Arena 4 you find so many spawner decks, it's insane. And it's really annoying. So I'm going to drop my Hog Rider on this side. And I don't know why he dropped the Giant Skeleton on that. That was really weird. So I'm ready to counter the Giant Skeleton, and I see he has a Wizard. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop my Valkyrie. My Valkyrie is going to do so much damage to that Wizard and going to counter perfectly the Giant Skeleton. At this point, I am in a 1 elixir deficit against him. So I have to be really careful with the cards I play. So I tried to drop those Goblins to like back up the Valkyrie and do some damage, but it didn't work out. I threw that fireball and I destroyed one of his spawners, which I don't know why I did that, but I did it. My mistake. I shouldn't have done that yet. Now, he is low on elixir, so I'm going to drop my Hog Rider. He's going to have only a fireball to counter it, which is a really dumb but smart move because he didn't have any other cards, but don't waste your fireball that way. Because if I have a minion horde, that would have been terrible for him. He has no card to counter the minion horde. He does have the mirror, which is also a thing. So at this point, I flipped because I didn't have my fireball or my arrows against this, and I just threw my fireball to 2 minions, which was really dumb. I made a lot of mistakes this game, but the deck saved my ass. This deck is so good against so many decks, and at this point, this guy mirrors his giant skeleton. I have no clue what this guy is doing, but I think he was trolling. I'm not sure. So he drops the giant skeleton with the prince, which is really strong, not going to lie, but I'm going to deal with it like a boss. So he has a really strong push right now. He has a giant skeleton, a prince, and a wizard, which is amazing strong. And I was still beating him. I don't know how. I dropped my bomber because I was panicking. The wizard would have gotten many hits on me. He only hit 1, which was fairly decent. So I dropped my hawk because he's low in elixir. I dropped my fireball. That was a waste of a fireball, but I just wanted to reassure that I would have gotten the tower. As you can see, I'm going to deploy my goblins right in the middle of the arena, and the prince is going to get distracted enough to not get to my tower, and I'm going to win the match easy. Well, that wasn't easy at all, but it was a victory. So straight on to the second battle, I'm going against Faker from FCB. So at this point, we're building up elixir for the beginning of the game. He drops his giant skeleton right off, a really bad idea. In my opinion, I wouldn't have done that. I dropped my cannon to help out with the giant skeleton, but I see he dropped the witch as well, so I'm dropping my minions to take her out. And the Valkyrie is gonna help take out the giant skeleton. So at this point, I have a big push going to his side, but he counters it perfectly with his baby dragon. And as you can see, I have a baby dragon. You can replace the bomber with the baby dragon if you have it. The baby dragon is also works like the bomber, and it's also a great epic card. If you have an epic, use it in the deck. For example, the baby dragon instead of the bomber. So I dropped my spear goblins. As you can see, the spear goblins are such a great counter for the mini P.E.K.K.A. The mini P.E.K.K.A. is so weak against small troops, such as the spear goblins or the stabby goblins. Really nice play. So at this point, we're building up elixir once again for a big push, but he decides to just go straight for it and drop the giant skeleton without even thinking. He didn't think I would have been able to counter the giant skeleton easily, but I got an elixir advantage onto him, a huge one by the way. I'm dropping my baby dragon to counter his witch. So I drop my hog rider because I see he has no elixir. He has no elixir at all. He's really vulnerable, and I do get quite some damage with my hog rider. He drops his Valkyrie really late, so I drop my Valkyrie as well, backed up with some spear goblins, which are gonna deal quite some damage. I drop my cannon to get rid of his Valkyrie. He drops a mini P.E.K.K.A. again, so I'm ready to drop my stabby goblins to counter him. Now check it out. I did not drop them, and I dropped them at the last second. I was so freaked out because I thought the cannon, I mean the mini P.E.K.K.A. would have gone for the cannon, but he didn't. So I fireballed his barbarians. I placed the baby dragon and a Valkyrie. At this point, it's just gonna be eternal when the baby dragon kills my baby dragon and the Valkyrie. So I drop minions to take him out. I have a really big push going towards his side. He has no chance. Drops a giant skeleton, which is a really bad move by him. And at this point, my hog won the game. I fireball it just for the sake of it, and we got 1 crown tower. Now I'm ready to defend the mini P.E.K.K.A. and the giant skeleton. I drop my goblins on the center of the arena to distract them. And at this point, I'm literally just playing with his troops. I deploy my cannon to distract them for the last second. He has a huge push. 1 more second, and it would have been over. As you can see, this deck is really strong. You can use the baby dragon instead of the bomber, but if you don't have the baby dragon, you can use the bomber. The bomber is also really good. I would recommend using the bomber, and I would recommend using the baby dragon as well. Whatever you want. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, leave a like, and a comment. I love reading comments. It's super fun. See you on the next video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.